guys good? All right.
Another tough one this week down in Tallahassee. No, it'll be loud. It'll be hostile, and I know we're looking forward to going down and playing a outstanding football team who's tremendously athletic, well coached, and a team that's kind of getting a little bit more healthy now with their quarterback back, and got back on track last weekend. So, again, what we want to do is just go down and make sure that we continue to improve in all three phases, and work very, very hard during the week to put ourselves in the best position we can be, and know that it's a tremendous challenge and a tremendous opportunity for us as we play Saturday in Tallahassee at 3:30 on ABC.
Hey, Coach, if you could just give us a, grading of how you felt CJ played on Saturday, and go from there.
I really don't like to talk much about last week's game because we got Florida State this week, but CJ played well, and he's the quarterback, is number one quarterback as we go into Florida State, and just expect him to get better than where he was last week. Made a lot of good decisions and played well, and we just want him to improve just like everybody else.
Coach, E.J. Manuel, he's a guy who can hurt you with his legs as well as his arm. Talk about the X factor that he provides them.
Very talented young man. Very talented young man. 6'5", 245. Throws the ball extremely well. Has the ability to run the ball, and when you have people that have that ability, it puts a little bit more pressure on your defense, and it creates matchup problems, and you got to be very, very good in terms of knowing that to take something away, you might be giving up something somewhere else, and so you got to make sure that you have a balance in what you want to try to do, against a guy like E.J. Manuel.
Coach, playing off what you just said, is that one of the things that you really like about CJ, in that he has that dual threat? Teams have to account for him on the ground as well as with his arm.
Yeah, I think that having played the position myself and having coached on defense for a number of years, when you have to face a guy who has the ability to throw the ball and run the ball, it just does create a lot of problems for the defense.
Coach, how was O'Brien taking the benching, and was there ever any consideration to putting him back in this week? And do you think he could possibly see the field again sometime this year?
Well, everybody always has to be ready to go, because if you're a backup, you're one play away from going in there. And if you're not the starter, there's things that you have to do each and every week to be prepared to go in there, and it's the role that you have to play. And like I said, you never know when your opportunity might come again, and if it does, or when it does, then you just have to be ready to step in and take advantage of it.
Can you talk a little bit about Marcus Lee and just the decision making with his rise up the depth chart? Is that a result of him impressing you, or other wide receivers maybe not performing as well as you would like, or a combination of the both?
Well, I think Marcus has done a good job throughout preseason, when he was here and through the season, and he was getting playing time. And in football you have injuries, so he's done a good job, but his elevation is more this week due to an injury factor more than anything else. But we feel very, very comfortable because we had been playing him, and now again he was number 2 on the depth chart. Now his opportunity is presented there, so he needs to go in and play as well or better than Kevin did.
Randy, Ronnie Tyler's absence from the depth chart, is that a performance issue or an injury issue?
Everything usually on the depth chart is more of a performance situation. The injury stuff comes out later in the week, but as you saw Kevin went down in the game, but everything here is pretty much based on production, and who's ever the best guy will play, and that's the case in this situation.
All right. Pete?
Coach, after 6 games defensively, what's been working? Where have the challenges been? How do you get things on the right track defensively?
Well, there's been good things during the game, and it's just from the standpoint we just have to, you probably get tired of hearing it, but we just have to be more consistent. We have to be able to do it for 60 minutes. And we just got to continue to get everybody better, at their positions. And as we do that and we continue to practice more, again, I think there's progress that's been made. It's just that we just haven't been consistent enough.
Yeah, Coach. CJ is someone who is unfamiliar, I think, to the public at large. Could you just talk a little bit about what he's like as a young man? You spoke a lot about Danny before the start of the season, and CJ just is somebody that we don't know very much about.
Well, you'll get a chance because he'll be here today, so you'll get a chance to find out a lot about him. But he's a young man that's very talented, is confident, very cool under pressure, has good speed, has good knowledge, has good command. I've just been impressed with what I've seen out of him, since the spring in terms of his abilities.
Coach, you mentioned in the spring that CJ was giving Danny a run for his money. Was he always in the equation, or did his decision really come from just an unhappiness with the production offensively, or was, like, from the beginning of the season, was he always kind of in the back of your mind?
Well, as I've always said, the best people are going to play based on what we do in terms of evaluation, and it's all production related. So that's how we come to decisions of who's the starters, who's the backups. You stole it from him. You got his hand. Patrick, that's a demerit for you.
Better watch it with us. Was Saturday as close to what you feel like that offense should look like as it's been all season?
I thought we were productive on Saturday. I thought we really did some good things. We want it to even be better. I think we can be more dynamic than what we even saw on Saturday.
Yeah, Coach, over the summer you said you were working with the athletic department to get an indoor practice facility, a new turf field at Bird. I was wondering if you had maybe any update on this project.
I think that, I don't know if I'm the right person to comment on those things. I mean, that would go through the facilities, but it'd be better to ask the facilities people because they have more knowledge on that. I'm just trying to get ready for Florida State.
Coach, first America was good, particularly after the game.
Yes.
Saturday. Talk a little bit about his development and what he brings to the table.
I tell you, I think Matt is having an outstanding year. He's a guy that is doing a lot of good things. He's blocking well. He's catching the ball, and what he did after the catch last week, and and he's one of those guys. You'll talk to him tomorrow. But he's one of those guys that just goes out and performs and loves to play and just does whatever you ask him to do. And again, the tight end, we want to be a big part of what we do with our offense, and we've been able to utilize him and get him into positions where he's been able to be successful and do things to enhance our offense. So he's played very, very well all year. I've been impressed with his playing all year long, and I think you're going to get a chance tomorrow also to talk with Tyler Searski, who I think has come in and done an outstanding job as a true freshman. And there you can see that guy just getting better, getting more comfortable and getting lower as he's blocking people. He's on special teams for us, and there's another young man that we just think is going to get better. And then again, the more that you can have the different personnel groupings, I think that's the more dynamic you can be offensively. And then also tomorrow, A.J. Hendy is a guy that's, local guy, who's come in and has contributed on, special teams and has done, a good job, and now is the backup safety. And you can just see the ability that he has. And, he's one play away from getting in there playing at safety, but contributing on special teams. So, and then Max Garcia, be in tomorrow. And I think Max is playing well. I think Max is doing a good job, in there. And again, another young guy that has got a bright future, ahead of him. So guys that you're going to be able to speak with tomorrow, I think, give you a little bit of background, on them. And I know you'll look forward to talking to them in terms of the, their transition, but, also how they're playing. The other thing is, and I didn't want to put out anything yesterday until it was really confirmed. But Tyreek Cheeseborough, he'll be out for the year due to surgery. Avery Graham will be out. All indications are that he's not going to need surgery, but he's going to be out for the rest of the season as well. And then anything other, those are really kind of like the out for the year or surgery type situations that we have. And then we'll update everything else on Thursday.
Yeah, real quick on those two guys, is there a red shirt possible for at least Tyreek Cheeseborough?
Tyreek, we can. Okay, because he hadn't played. What the rule is you're allowed in the first half of the season, if you don't play more than, there was 4 games in the first half of the season, so Tyreek played he played Towson, he played 3. Okay, so we can apply, we got to apply for it, the red shirt. Same thing with Matt Robinson, okay, because Matt hasn't been red-shirted, Tyreek hasn't been red-shirted. Okay, now Avery had been, okay, and plus he played in more than, those 4 games. So now going forward, we can't get anybody, we can't apply for any medical red shirts for anybody because you're going to be past the first half of the season. So we don't need any more. Hopefully we don't get any, but now the possibility to be able to apply for those things are no longer in existence as we get into this game.
And speaking of Hendy, how much of a re-recruitment did you have to do when you came in on him and kind of sell him on what you wanted? He committed before you came and then was looking around a little bit. How much did you have to do with him there?
Well, we had to deal with quite a bit, there. But I just, I like his approach. I like his, I like his ability, but I like, what he's accomplished so far and everything that he's been challenged with, in terms of in the classroom and everything else. And, he's a guy that works at it. Here's a young guy that works at it. Here's a guy that wants to get better, and learning the fundamentals and the technique of the position he's playing, plus also the spots that he's in on special teams. He's a guy that has, good focus, and he's one of those guys that's a Maryland guy that it's important for us to have here. And like I said, I just see that guy every day in practice. As I watch him, I see him getting better. I see him moving faster. And that's the thing with some of these young guys that are playing on defense. Every day and then every week you can start to see him playing a little bit more faster. And that's because of experience. So, the more that those guys are playing, the more reps that they get, you're going to start to see them even play faster and faster and faster, and they get more repetitions, they get more comfortable, and now there's less thinking and a lot more just reacting.
The kind of run-pass breakdown on CJ was, I guess it was 22 rushes and 17 passes. Did you feel like, as productive as he was, that was too many? And of the 22 runs, do you have a feel for like how many of those were designed and how many he just kind of pulled it down when he didn't see anything open?
Well, I think that's the misconception that people have. They see the 22 rushes and they think that we call 22 runs for CJ. Well, there was times that he dropped back to pass and it wasn't there, and he made decisions to pull the ball down and run. So, really, I think there might have been maybe 15